Hi folks, how you doing? I just wanted to have a little review discussion about 12 Minutes. It's just launched prior to the weekend there on Game Pass. Now, I'm calling this a review discussion because I don't want to get into an actual review about the technicalities of the game and how it's designed and things like that, but it's kind of more a spoiler impression, so this is full spoilers, by the way. Also, full disclosure, I've not completed 12 Minutes. It feels like I was consistently within grasp of the final moments of the game, but every single time it felt like it was getting to the end, the 12-minute time loop would start again, and eventually just got to the point of irritation. The particular point, and again we're going to talk full spoilers here folks, so if you've not played the game then please turn off. Towards the end of the game, to spur the cops' memory about the name of the nanny in question, and we'll speak about that storyline in a minute, there's a moment when you have to drag the baby clothes with the Dahlia written on it onto the cop to get him to look at it and be like, Dahlia, the name was Dahlia. Now I had done this 3 times before prior to reaching this point, so this was the 4th time. Every other time went fine. This time I dragged it on and William Dafoe was like, I warned you. So I rage quit the game and uninstalled it before I even realised what I was doing. But the game was filled with a lot of the tedium of that. Now obviously it is a time loop game, so repetition is to be expected. But when you mix it with sort of the clankiness of the actual game engine and the game design, it was very rough around the edges, which is surprising for such a small game. Obviously it's large in terms of narrative and branching choices, but it's a game that's essentially set within 4 walls. I know it's 4 rooms, but when you think about it, a lot of it takes place in the living room rather than the rest of the place. Now as for the storyline itself, I was on board fully at the start of the game. It was really intriguing, you know, oh, what has your wife done? What's going on here? And then for me, the game completely jumped the shark. So again, as I said at the start, spoilers, you know, if you're still here, then all good. So, fair enough, you killed her father, which is fair enough. That's a cool little plot twist. I will actually commend the game for doing this. As the game went on, the tone of the game inversed. It became less about what did she do, what's her deal, and then it became about you, and the focus all went on you, so that was really good. But this plotline about being with your sister, no. Again folks, I've not completed it. It feels like I was within, you know, a hair of reaching that final part, so maybe there's some literal 12th minute revelation here. But how do you forget that you are sleeping with your sister? I try not to swear there. What plot point could you possibly use? Amnesia? I don't buy that, especially with the way that the character was interacting with his wife for the entire time. It just felt like a total jump in the shark moment, or in terms of believability, you know. I mean, when you're consuming any kind of creative medium, there's always an ask. There's always a, you know, let's use magic. You know, you can use magic in fantasy and some sci-fi to explain away most things, but then there's just some things you just can't ask the viewer or the player to take on top of that. For me, the ask of believing that somehow you forgot you were sleeping with your sister, no. I was completely off board with there at that point. It would have been fine if there was some way to explain it again. If there is a 12-minute explanation in the game, please let me know in the comments. I won't be reinstalling the game at this point. I just wanted to say though that I was really enjoying it at the start. It felt kind of, not necessarily sandbox, but you didn't feel railroaded at the start. You were free to explore and try different things, but I felt like as the game went on, it was starting to funnel you in, it's starting to bottleneck you in, and that freedom really slipped away, and it got to the point where I was having to, or it felt like I was having to pick certain narrative cues in order to progress. The last couple of times I was going through the loop, it was all about talking to the cop with the revelation that you're the killer, and every time I'd pick one wrong thing and I'd have to start the loop all over again. I know it's part of the loop narrative, you know, it's that Groundhog Day kind of thing, but it just started to get really tedious by the end. You know, we're probably about 4 or 5 hours in at this point, and it was just... I should note as well, we did take a break overnight. Played it for 3 or 4 hours one night, a few more hours again tonight, and after that last one I was thoroughly out there. Now, as I was saying, I did enjoy the sandboxy nature at the start. So prior to being bottlenecked, as I felt like it was, I would like to see more of this from, and forgive the pronunciation, Annapurna, the publisher. I think if you treat this less as a game of itself and more like a proof of concept or a tech demo, I would like to see more of this on like a larger scale, but there has to be a lot more testing of the mechanics and stuff like that. Because again, that thing that I was saying at the start about dragging the baby close, you know, I'd done that 4 times without any kind of failure. And then this time I dragged it on, and William Dafoe was just like, I warned you. So, overall, folks, I was enjoying this. I don't see myself reinstalling it to find out what the final loop was all about. Maybe it just went on too long. Maybe that revelation when you fall to your knees and you're like, no! Maybe it should have just ended there, blank. No explanation or anything like that. But anyway, folks, just a quick spoiler discussion, really. Now, if you're watching this, then please let me know in the comments what you thought of the game. And, you know, if I did miss something in the 12th hour, then please let me know. And, well, I doubt I'll ever reinstall it, but who knows, maybe someone will turn around and say, oh, no, you're only halfway through the game. Fair enough, maybe at that point I will, but, no worries. Thanks.